Go ahead. Will. Go ahead.
This is Tupac. Put some respect on my name. And I am here on Voice of the Voiceless. Shout out to Mike, Dred St. Mike. Hopefully he'll get here soon.
Shout out. And I'm Trooper Joe, and I'm here to help keep it real for you. And I want to give a quick shout out to the people at the YMCA, especially the director of the athletic department up there at the YMCA. He's going to have some challenging, very entertaining, and very enlightening, and very... the programs are going to be great, peeps. The programs are going to be great. So take yourself on down to the YMCA on Main Street and check out that new programs that they're going to be having down there.
Interesting, yeah. Very. I say interesting because shouts out to my man Matt Evans, the new director down there at the YMCA. Tune into the One Man Team show because I guess hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will be breaking a story about the Y. But you know, hey, shouts out to I guess the new programs that are coming up for everybody. Word. That's it.
I'm going to give a shout out to Trooper Joe on Archangel on Wednesday from 3 to 4. And this Wednesday, remember, from last week, I challenged all my thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners to write their own Christmas carol. And all those who have written their Christmas carol, just you can tweet it, or whatever you call it.
Where can they find Archangel Street?
Archangel on
YouTube or Facebook or
Facebook.com/Archangel Chivalry.
7Av Radio.
Also, you can find them on find Archangel and 7avradio.com.
Yeah, so
I know
get your Christmas carols written down.
Yeah. So, quick question though. Let's go back. It's only Tuesday. Christmas was Wednesday. So, how was your Christmas trooping, Mike? I mean, trooping Will. I said Mike.
I had a great Christmas. I spent it with my lovely bride and her people and stuff like that. And I ate too many carbohydrates because I'm going on.
He said I ate too many.
I'm going on a low carbohydrate diet, people. We've been shammed and we've been lied to for many years by the Food and Administration Department and everything. And I went on and researched it with some of the old physical fitness books and some of the old nutrition books that I have. And it seems to be right that carbohydrates is what the fructose in carbohydrates that they overloaded this stuff with to make it taste better, make it taste sweeter, is actually what's causing people to gain so much weight over those years. And this also attributed to the fact that we have such obesity problems with our youth. We feed them all these things, but they're loaded with carbohydrates, and they're not burning up those carbohydrates, they're not using them, and once you don't use them, it's stored as fat, and you can't recycle it back into energy. Not at a measurable amount.
You want to expound on that real quick before you talk about your Christmas? Because carbs, think about it, it's cheap. It's cheap to get a bag of rice. It's cheap to get a bag of noodles. So, it's cheap and fulfilling at that cheap price.
But you can't, if you don't use the energy, it's stored as fat, and it can't be transferred back into energy using type of things like protein can. Carbohydrates is for the instant energy that you use. I ain't going to go into the Krebs cycle for all these people, but I know.
But that's what people would need to understand. But kids don't play outside anymore.
Well, I'm for one glad that I don't have to worry about that because I'm in the best shape of my life. But no, seriously, I'm like 2017 is the year. This is like do or die for me. I can't keep living like this. It's crazy how out of shape I am, and it's just like it's bad. It's weird. It's almost like I'm a diabetic, so I take insulin, and they say, okay, you have to lose weight. Okay, well, I'm taking insulin. Guess what insulin does?
Yeah,
it helps you gain weight.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I've been struggling with weight for my entire life. It's not like I blew up and became big in 2015. This has been going on for years. So yeah, that's something I think I'm definitely tackling in 2017 myself.
I'll tell you, give up carbohydrates. You'll find out that you'll start to drop weight. You'll feel better.
Crazy.
You'll be a lot smarter and everything. The government was actually the one who put all that fructose in there. Fructose is one of the carbohydrate sugars and stuff.
Fructose.
Yeah. Sucrose is another one.
But soda has a lot of that in there too.
But yeah, there's a lot of sugars out there, but the hidden factor with the carbohydrate and the fructose is what caused that seems to be the cause to the obesity problem that exists today, especially among young men in the poorer section and among children in all sections.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, me and brother Matt from the Y, the director, was talking about that yesterday, and he seems to think that at the end of the day, fat it serves purpose in the body. Fat is actually soluble. So when you don't burn off a lot of those calories from the carbs, and you don't use them energies, sometimes that helps as an insulator. So you could be looked at as overshaped. You're actually too much in shape.
Yeah, that tickled true. That tickles true. No, but okay. So, anyways, I understand. I'm thrilled that we're talking about losing weight since I'm a fatty. But can I just say how Christmas went for me? Because I just want to say really quickly.
Take your time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Christmas. So I bought we did the Secret Santa thing because I got too many kids, so I can't afford to buy all of my family members Christmas gifts. So we do a Secret Santa, me and my brothers and sisters. I got my brother this year. So I bought him a tablet, right?
Oh yeah, I seen it.
The tablet was like like $50. You're not supposed to spend more than $25.
The Kindle.
But the Kindle. I spent like $50 for this tablet for my brother, right? And I'm like, oh, he about to be lit this year. He's gonna be happy this year. Nothing, people gonna be jealous of what he got. Come to find out, when we exchanged gifts, he bought me a pair of Jordans.
Are they real?
Real Jordans, yeah. I'm like, man. So I really,
you got them on?
I got them on. I really felt blessed.
Set them back a couple of greenbacks.
Yeah, and we had a good time. Like the family was together. We sang 12 Days of Christmas like we do every year. Well, when you have a big family like mine, and everybody takes a number, and then they do a prop too. So like a partridge in a pear tree, I had a plant, and I would put it on my head, and I would jump off the plant like caw. So you make it fun. It's just an activity for the whole family to do.
That's what's up. And that's what I'm saying. So that was
Family
great.
activities.
Family activities. And y'all was singing together?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, like that's what's up. And then Troop was talking about how long, making up your own Christmas carol? How long does it have to be?
That's the challenge I put out on Archangel, was to make up your own Christmas carol.
How long does the
And
carol?
it could be 5 words. It doesn't matter. It could be 10 verses. It's your Christmas carol, just to tell about the happiness and love and everything that you had during Christmas, or maybe you had a miserable Christmas. Who knows? It's your Christmas carol. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's all it is.
All right. I can dig it.
And we'll find out if anybody did it. I did it. Y'all hear it tomorrow on Wednesday at 3 to 4.
Well, for the listeners that are listening now that might not have known about this, can you give them like an example of what your Christmas carol would be like? Is it in song form? Are they supposed to be able to sing it? Is it supposed to be written out like a song, or is it just a story?
It's a song or a poem that you wrote for Christmas. Okay. And I got the idea from, I watched a movie, kind of play type movie with the wife, and it had at the end, the lady found her Christmas song, her Christmas carol. So I thought, oh, that's cool. And then the next day I got a call from my daughter, and my youngest grandson, he wrote his Christmas poem. So I said, oh, now, I was getting ready for the show, so I'm going to put this out to everybody out there in the whole world, the millions and millions of listeners that out there waiting to hear some kind of words coming from Archangel's Trooper Joe, to write your Christmas song or Christmas poem or whatever it is and call it in. It could be anything. You could be talking about the joy you had in love and everything in song or in poem or in hugs or stuff, or just how miserable you were, and you could have a Christmas song where I spend Christmas alone with my quarter of Jack Daniels. Whatever.
Right. I got a Christmas carol.
Who knows? It's your Christmas.
So you got a song, Keefe? You got a song? All right, I want to hear it. Okay.
It's called Jesus Wasn't Born on Christmas.
Okay.
Jesus wasn't born on Christmas.
Okay.
Christmas is about the dinero.
See, I mean, if that's your Christmas song.
Hey,
Jesus wasn't born on Christmas, but you must be with your loved ones.
Obviously, folks, you kind of guess mine's going to be about me giving love to you. So that's my Christmas. I can do that because I go 225 and I'm pretty quick, and so I can talk about giving love to anybody I want to.
See, that's crazy because I just finished talking to a brother. Said, "Yo, they love my son. He got a mixed kid." And he was talking about they're not gonna like him when he's 17, when he's 6'2", 225. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Come on, Troop. You can't be intimidating.
You did say something interesting about it being about money, Keith, because like this year, all 2 6-year-olds, 1 6-year-old, 2 7-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 13-year-old, 16-year-old, all got tablets this year in my household.
Whoa!
Like we have so many electronic, we have so many electronic devices in my household now that the internet just stopped. The internet just says no more.
Yeah, you might need a new router. You might need a bigger router.
I noticed that.
Yeah, so on Saturday,
router,
Saturday they're installing the new internet. But when I do my shows, the 9 a.m. Rise Radio Show, Monday through Friday, and the 5 o'clock Shadow, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m., only on 7avradio.com. When those are on, then I make sure they turn all their tablets and stuff off. Because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much it is. But, I mean...
Or if it's on, you better be watching my show in this house.
Right, but I mean, but look at how... And tablets aren't cheap. You can get a cheap tablet for like $50, $30 if you're really, really pushing it.
Yeah,
but,
I forgot
but still,
they do have
how expensive gifts are to kids these days.
Man,
what happens to like getting them like a Tickle Me Elmo? No, Tickle Me Elmos are expensive.
Yo, I don't know. As far back as I can remember, maybe that era of what is it, Tonka trucks and Legos. They not that expensive, but the kids don't. Don't want it.
Lego stuff is expensive. That's my grandkids like it.
Oh, are they expensive now?
And all that stuff. So they got that stuff. And, you know, they've been into it for a while, but I'm like, boy, that's expensive stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not gonna. So they appreciate that. They appreciate
consumerism. And you know what? It's nothing new either. People act like, oh, in our day. No, in the 80s, it was just like that. Every kid wanted a Transformer. Transformers weren't cheap. Every kid wanted a Nintendo, or the first Nintendo. Yep, that was the 80s. Stuff in the 80s was just as expensive. And people, Cabbage Patch Kids. You know, people fought over Cabbage Patch Kids in the 80s. That was like 81 or 82.
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch people like were fighting in the store, in the malls. So when your parents are looking at you, young people, if you're listening, when your parents look at you and say, oh, you guys acting like animals fighting in the malls and everything, don't worry, your parents did it too.
Acting like you.
Yeah, just like, right.
Yeah, but see, he was talking about that yesterday. I didn't get to see it, and I didn't know what was going on with the, I guess the coonery. I don't get what happened in the mall where, why would you be fighting during Christmas in the mall? That's the craziest thing ever. It's not about loving yourself or your neighbor.
It's the most tense time of the year. Christmas is like one of the most tense for people. That's when people are at their they're anxious. That's why a lot of people have seasonal depression when they're dealing with, because it brings a lot of stress and what am I going to get for this person? Well, let me go to the store. They said they want this. Then there's only one left on the shelf. Now all of a sudden you playing tug of war with another parent over a toy or something, and then you get the cheap people who want to buy TVs for $20, a 50-inch TV for $20 because it's marked down $700. And then they fighting over the last TV. It's like, it brings out the worst in people, unfortunately.
But you know what? My wife put a smile on my face by getting me a gift when I told everybody not to. And, thank you. Shout out to my baby. She put a nice big smile on my face, but...
I got my wife a griddle. Should I have not gotten her that?
Why would you get her something that you're going to benefit from?
That's what she said she wanted. I got it for her. This is a problem I have with some women. They say they want something, but they don't want it. They want something else. But this year I said, I'm too stressed out with all these kids getting a tablet. I'm just going to get you. You want the griddle? You got the griddle.
You got the griddle.
That's cooking bacon and eggs
on the griddle
on Christmas morning.
That's what's up there.
I guess. I don't know.
That's a good thing. That's my Mason. He's my 10-year-old. He likes cooking. He wanted. Yeah, he wants to cook. He likes cooking.
God,
culinary. He might have a future in culinary.
He likes science too. He's kind of feeling his way through life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, well,
brother likes spending money.
So what did they get for Christmas? What did you get them for Christmas?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just gave them all the money to their mother and told them to get what they want.
Oh, true. You got to put some thought into this stuff. Not just giving them gift cards. That's lazy. Like, take the money and go buy what you want.
I did him that
That's
too. When
smart.
I gave,
What do
I
you
gave-
mean?
I give him $50. Mason goes and saves it. Max, he said he took all. All right, let's go. He got the kids.
Uh-huh.
He took all his
I'm ready to
friends
get
out.
what I want. I've been thinking about this for a minute.
All he wanted to do was take his friends out to get something.
Yo, now we said Mason?
Max,
Mhm.
Max.
Yeah.
he's the 7-year-old.
So Max is the one that likes to give, huh?
Yeah, Mason put the money away.
Mason's
he
the
likes
saver,
saving
Max is
money.
the giver. I like that. He took his friends out with his Christmas money. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Where the kids are like that now? I don't. Mason and Max need to be like the statuettes for kids.
Poster boys.
The word. These ain't no statuettes. You did a good job raising them. I'm saying.
They raising kids is hard. You got to be. You got to.
Yeah.
A lot of parents don't understand when they say they hate you. They don't mean it.
No.
They don't mean it.
But I think it's a long period of time for them to understand that they don't hate you, that they really love you, and when they really start to understand, they're the only ones I got in my corner. My friends ain't there for me. It's a long period of time for that to happen.
And if they ain't telling you they're hating you, then you ain't doing your job.
yeah, you said that before. So I would like for you to break the story that you broke yesterday about this fighting in the mall. I didn't get to hear it. Like I said, I rest in peace. I wanted to get to the list of people that died this year, but to George Michael. Rest in peace to
Oh
George
yeah,
Michael.
rest in peace, George Michael. No, it was just.
And then you was talking about you were mad at the state of black men. What were you mad at the state of black men?
Oh no, that was.
Let the boy talk.
Yeah.
That's like three different. That's three different topics. That
All right, so let's skip George Michael. Rest in
Skip
peace.
George Michael. Yeah, rest in peace.
2016.
One of the topics that I talked about was with the fighting in terms of the malls. Like, this is the day after Christmas. Black Friday, it showed the worst. It brought the worst out of people due to greed and consumerism and everything. Now they said we having part 2 of these fights on the day after Christmas.
Best
Now,
sales
day
ever.
after Christmas used to be where you would just bring your presents back
Well, that's what they're doing.
that don't work or whatever.
No,
But
they're
now-
bringing their present back to get what they want.
Right. Okay. So see, that's even showing even more greed.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
greed.
on the news, it had mall after mall after mall where kids were teenagers mostly were just group gang fights where security guards are trying to have arms like octopuses trying to grab 1 or 2 or 3 at the same time, and it's like right after Christmas, and there's no such thing as the Christmas spirit. And I know Keefe said something about Christianity and not being Jesus' birthday, but when it was focused more on it being Jesus, Christmas was a lot more pleasant and peaceful.
Oh yeah, and cheaper too.
And no, I don't think it was cheaper. It was expensive. In 1989,
Oh, no.
they had Game Boys. Game Boys was the top selling, 150
I
million.
was going way back in the 1970s.
Oh, okay,
Way back
all right,
there,
yeah,
you
you went
know.
way.
yeah, well, yeah,
I don't know about that.
You went to dinner was the biggest part, and a couple
Yeah.
little stocking full of little type of toys and stuff. It wasn't big giant packages of wrapped cars and
Yeah, yeah.
things like that outside.
Yeah, I was talking about the last generation. Look, it's always the last generation that like to complain about this generation. Like my mother, she loves to complain about the stuff that's happening today and the stuff that I did as kids. And now that I'm learning more about history, I was like, Mom, you were doing it too. Stop playing with me.
Oh yeah, sick people in the 60s. You guys are bored.
Yeah, word.
All the weed y'all had and stuff.
I bored. What?
Word, right?
No lie,
It was a
man.
party. Like Christmas in the '60s was a party for real. It didn't stop till Christmas ain't stopped till the '70s. But
There's still people from the 60s following Grateful Dead. They don't
Yes.
know where they are. They're
Yes.
still walking around.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So Keefe, another thing I was talking about was Chicago. The death toll as of
Chicago, yeah.
Monday was 785 deaths. They are reaching in 2015. The death toll was 506.
They preceded every year.
But now by 300, fam, 300 over Christmas weekend. 7 people were killed and 16
I
people
wanted
were
to know How
shot.
many was
Yeah.
killed.
7 were killed and
people
16 were
get-
shot.
People get shot every day in Chicago,
Right.
but they don't get killed. But the
Right.
thing is, so 7 people got killed on Christmas Day
Yeah,
in Chicago.
23 people total got shot, and 7 of those 23 died, and 16 are still alive and haven't succumbed to their injuries.
But here's
That's
the problem,
crazy.
man. We just talk about it, not just us here on the show. I'm talking we as the people in the
People.
nation, as a coffee table type of entertainment.
We need to bomb the place.
Yo,
See, that's what we do. You know,
that's
we
crazy.
don't. Nobody's sitting down saying, "What's the real reason for this? How are we going to deter this stuff? How are we going to not let this spread across the country and stuff? And what's fueling this in the first place? That you have so many deaths in one spot among the poorest people, probably in the well, not the poorest, but some of the poorest people in the country and everything. There's got to be something wrong
On
there.
Christmas weekend,
On
too.
Christmas weekend, and then if you go back in time, you'll see, you can see that Chicago's always had a history about it.
Mm-hmm.
So is this kind of like something that they thought, well, I live in Chicago, I have to be violent, or what is going on with this type of stuff?
True, but like you said, it's been going on a long time. But the death toll is starting to rise so much. You can only ignore it so much. You can only look at a headline and say, "Oh, they got 700 deaths, 500 deaths this year in Chicago." Well, what else is in the news? Now we're at 800. Like, what's going to happen when we get to a really, really, like, at what point are we going to say, okay, the number's too high, something has to really be done about it?
Yeah, didn't the war get started over the bombing of the trade center, the trade building? That's only like what, 3,000? So you gotta, are we pushing to get that high?
Right, something has. Look, in my opinion, and people may say that this is like mean, but I honestly think you should put a doorway in Chicago. And people coming out, you say, okay, what's your name? Okay, do you have an education? Okay, you can come out. What's your name? Oh, you dropped out of school? Oh, you come from a single family home? Nope, you ain't leaving. Once they get all of them rounded up, bomb the place and start from scratch. You can't fix all of those people. 800 deaths, man. Hey, there's 800 murderers in Chicago right
Yeah,
now.
but it ain't like trying to fix the whole everybody and make them into something. But you gotta let the people know that they don't have to do these type of things to have fun. I think that's what's wrong with them.
You was talking about there was a dude who had his phone and all you heard was gunshots.
Right, he had his phone. He was doing Facebook Live, where you could like stream. You know, like how you stream your show, Archangel or Return to Chivalry, every 3 to 4 p.m. on 7avradio.com every Wednesday. You know how you do that? You have your show like that, right? Some people, you could take your cell phone and Facebook Live, just like we're doing right now on Voice of the Voiceless. And on Facebook Live, this guy was like, "Oh, I just got out of jail. I'm home. I'm happy. I'm excited about life." All of a sudden, you hear boom, 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 and then you see the phone jumping because he's running, and then all of a sudden the phone falls. He got killed on Facebook Live. Like, this is insane, the stuff that goes on in Chicago. And you can't fix it with there's no programs you can fix it with.
Well, I don't think there's any real academic program or any self-help program. It'd have to be a harsh program.
Like bombing them.
Why does that be? I don't think it's a program. From what you explained
I'm not about
the
the program is if you break the law, you go to jail. You don't.
They're going to jail. Jail is there.
Obviously, they're not going to jail.
Not at a fast enough rate.
But why do we think jail is the answer to these?
I didn't say it was the.
Listen,
it's the answer to getting them off the street.
I'm saying jail's the answer. Stop and frisk is the
How?
answer. Racial profiling
How
is
is that the answer?
Because they're killing themselves at such an alarming rate.
All right,
you have to go to extremes. I'm against racial profiling, but if I was living in Chicago and I saw a black dude walking by me with his pants down, I'm like, stop him, get that gun off of him.
And the crazy thing about this is, I think of Chicago as LA at one point in time.
Yes.
It took the gangs in LA to say, listen, I'm Bloods and Crips. There is no, we are Bloods and Crips, but we're together. We're putting the flags down and we're celebrating unity. That crushed politics because at the end of the day, that war. I'm just saying. So I'm coming from troops historical breakdown of why Chicago turned into the way it did. Okay. It has 1 million different gangs, and none of them want to drop their flags. You get that? None of them. And to be truthful, the politics of America fuels Chicago, because if they wanted to go in and stop it, they can go in and stop it. But you understand, it fuels fear in American hearts. To be truthful, to mention Chicago to somebody, they think about, oh, I'm gonna get shot. I ain't going to Chicago, and that's a bad perception because all of Chicago ain't like that. No, so you're talking about solving the problem. Why can't the gang say, listen, we not killing no more? We're not killing each
They
other.
haven't done that in LA, by the way. It's just not as sexy to report in LA. The murder rate in LA is still very high. In Compton,
It ain't as
South
high as
Central,
Chicago.
Nowhere. Aleppo isn't as high as Chicago.
Yeah, so you understand what I'm saying?
Chicago had 2 gangs.
Yes.
With thousands and thousands of members. The federal government went in there and dispersed those gangs, but they didn't disarm those gangs.
No. They
Those
gave them
gangs
more guns.
became little block gangs
Yes.
after that with 20, 30 members on each block
Yeah,
and
100
everything.
feet gangs.
So now you had these inner city rivalries that started to arise. And you had no real direction because you didn't have, before with thousands and thousands of members, it was more honorable. Now you just got a little bunch of punks running around armed.
Bomb them.
But
Bomb that place.
But it's still the same perception of at the end of the day, you know, you have these young men, right, killing each other. They're killing each other, and it's like the same dynamics of Worcester. You feel me? Where you got this gang, and they don't know why they shooting each other for. They don't know what the territorial beef is over, and they out there shooting each other.
That's why you bomb
killing
them.
each other.
You bomb them. Because if you take them out of Chicago, it's the same thing. They're not. I don't know why.
How?
We're just shooting.
If you take them out of Chicago, there's no territory to beef over. There's no
If you take,
flag I have
take
to
a pit
hold.
bull that you use for dog fighting out of the dog fight arena and just bring him into a nice neighborhood with other dogs, what is that dog
Yeah.
going to do to other dogs?
I could dig
And
that too.
I apologize for comparing
Yeah,
you
dogs to-
dogs,
that's
but
crazy.
I mean that analogy works. That when you take someone who's living
I
Trump
get
like
that one.
out of it, then
I get that
hey,
one.
it
So
works.
like Jay Thriller, Wayne talk about Negro spiritual, Mike Hammer action. Happy holidays.
I think that's why we need to. What's the solution? If these kids and these gangs in Chicago don't come together and say, "Listen, we have to stop killing," yo, and there's mad stuff going on in Chicago to kind of prevent this. You know?
It just, I mean, the first thing we have to do, in my opinion, is stop discussing it, and misdiagnosing it. Stop talking about it wrong, right?
So you don't agree with bombing them?
It's not about it.
I'm just playing.
It's not a war over territory. It's a war. It's a war that you kill my cousin.
Yeah.
Right.
You killed my brother, man.
Right.
Like that's not going nowhere. Like you killed my
That's why you
best
got to
friend.
bomb them and
Like-
start
like-
from
like-
scratch.
Like you would have to go in the same way. It's a civil war, right? And it's not being discussed as such. It's a civil war, literally, right? It's not like there are no programs that are gonna stop me from not wanting to kill this dude. Like me and my son and my nephew was talking about, and a lot of this is I can relate because I was in it, man. You know what I mean? Like, and we had stuff that it was like 35 of us, right? And even though like I never killed nobody, but I tried to hurt people really, really badly. And there were people that tried to hurt me. And there was certain of us, even though it's 35 of us, not all of us was tight to us. I'm going to go make sure that that person's going to die by the end of the night myself. Not like so that when you get that, when it starts to get that, like there's a Chicago rapper, man. He started naming off all his boys that was dead. I got 6 dead. I mean, he named like 17 dudes, man. Like, and this is abject poverty where their parents are messed up. These are the people that helped them grow up and live, man. And when they gone, you ain't out. There ain't no program stopping that, man.
Nope.
You have to come in and create like barriers, like there has to be almost like National Guard institution, right? Like, and like, look, and then
Stop and frisk.
have mediation. Like you have to stop it first.
And I like the way you brought that in. So I like to go biblical with it and give me a reason to not believe that the Bible is actually for this eye for an eye.
You
understand what I'm saying?
Was when God saw that God saw that the earth was messed up. He said, "Look, ain't no saving y'all." Like, look, he just flooded the whole place. He just said, "It's a wrap. I'm tired of this." Just took it
Go
out.
ahead.
That's what I'm saying. You want to get biblical? Like, listen, and it's not because I hate it. I'm hated either. It's because I honestly don't see a solution. The same reason why I think a molester or a child predator should be murdered, not because that's a punishment that I feel like they deserve, but because I don't know if there's any cure for a person who has that illness. If there is, then fine. I'm all for giving them that cure and keeping them alive. But until then,
A lot of what's going on right now is excess guns and
That's what I was saying.
excess drugs.
That they're getting out.
Take the guns, take the drugs out, it'll go down. It's not going to stop, but it'll go down. Everybody's high out their mind all day, man. Like you hear the songs, they're talking about taking cocktails with Xannies and Perks and lean together
at the same time.
These are people living in deep misery. They're waiting to die. So I'm like, yo, we live in a culture that celebrates savages,
Male dominance.
It's the same way that like the Trump presidency is like surreal,
Male dominance. Yeah.
We live in a society where we're glorifying savages, man. I'm a savage. Savage.
Yeah, but this is everybody can see all this like that. This is what you got to stop. Bombing might be the answer, but I'm not going that way.
Yes.
What you mean? They might be a nuclear bomb in Chicago. What you talking about bombing?
It just might be, but I'm not buying that. And I'm not buying closing off, and I'm not buying giving up on them people either. Every day there's a new generation that's coming up, and every day if that generation is just being fed the same
Mike just
old
said someone's
stuff,
family member died.
you know
Go ahead, let me finish.
what?
Oh, let me see.
Right.
Let me see.
So,
Go ahead, Joe.
if
No,
every
go
day
ahead.
you're feeding that new generation that's coming up, this older generation like this, they're fading out. And this new generation that's coming up, I got a whole bunch of friends that's dead. Way back from my day, I got a whole bunch of friends that are dead. And we didn't even have as many guns and stuff like that. It was more stabbings and stuff, and then guns got in, and then drugs was the biggest maker of that there because everybody was high, didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
Chicago got the worst location in the country for drugs, actually.
Right.
But right there, it's got
It used
the
to.
lakes right there
Right.
coming in,
Yeah,
got
Great
rivers
Lakes.
all over the place that's feeding this stuff. The traffic comes through there, they ain't stopping the traffic.
Right.
It ain't new either. They called it depression. They called it with the alcohol coming over from Canada and stuff.
also, yeah.
It's just the only problem is that the people that's bringing it over from Canada and stuff, they're white. They're not looking at them. You get more news coverage from
On
in Mexico.
Arizona,
like
yeah.
that.
That's
You know,
crazy.
Well, are the coke and is the drug trafficking coming in through Canada?
Yeah,
and
everything is coming in.
The drugs come through the south though.
No,
You don't hear
that's
about
what
the
they
drugs coming
said.
from Canada.
It doesn't
When
say.
when I was locked up, Cass was talking about they were jumping on all-terrain vehicles.
I know bud, but not coke and dope.
Oh yeah, yo, my cousin. I hate to say that.
Whatever.
I have a family member who got caught stealing cars from America, going to Canada to transport on to Haiti. So Canada is a known transportation spot. I was locked up with a dude who said, you know how he used to get his coke in through Canada was he would go fishing. He would go fishing and pack the fishes with coke.
Right.
So you understand what I'm saying?
We're kind of veering off.
Yeah, let's get back on it.
Because truth, in response to what you said earlier about
Chicago.
taking the drugs and stuff away. Again, this is why I keep saying bombing, and I can't think of anything
Yo,
else.
stop it,
Because Mike,
though.
no, listen.
You're a man of God.
Mike said, I am, but listen, I'm trying to fix a problem. But Mike
I
also
was
said,
bombing, fixing the problem.
No, but
You're a man
listen.
of God.
Mike said specifically. People's cousins are getting killed. People's brothers and family members are getting killed. You can't. You have to start from scratch because even if you took all the drugs and stuff out of there, they're gonna want to get revenge for their family member getting killed. And let's not act. Mass murders started when the gun was invented. People have been murdering since the beginning of civilization. So taking guns out is not the real.
But there's another point to the culture of the retaliation.
Yes,
right?
that's what I wanna talk about.
So like, a lot of times you get back because you feel like you got to you gotta make you feel right. You ain't gonna feel right with this person walking the earth that did that. Sometimes you feel like you gotta do it so that they won't nobody else to think that y'all soft and they can't do it.
That's the problem.
There's a number of different reasons why you retaliate, right?
There's pride.
But then there's reasons why you won't retaliate too, right? Most of the times when people don't retaliate is because they feel like they got something to lose, right?
Yeah.
And so if you give people something that but you can't give it to them. There's no such thing like that. That's like charity, right? You have to, so that's where programs come in. But I mean, look, man, Chicago didn't get like this overnight.
Nope.
And for it to change, it's going to take 30 to 40 years, right?
Or a bomb.
This is why I'm so mad at Obama because Obama was heavy-handed. He could have came in and pushed something.
He's from
different.
Chicago.
He could have did something.
He was in Chicago before he was the president.
I'm really. I mean, maybe he still have some gravitas after his presidency. Maybe he can go back to Chicago and fix something. I don't know. But man, under his presidency, yo, you could have accelerated
He was the
reparation.
senator of Chicago.
So I got this one
Senator of
question.
Chicago.
Right.
I got this
Under
one
his
question
watch.
for all of us though. So I kind of believe Mike you don't think the same as far as retaliation, but I could echo the sentiments. If anybody messes with our family,
Right now,
they're going
I-
to see us.
it'd be hard
This
for
will
me
be the
not to.
last face they'll see is
There's
ours.
some couple people that I might go right.
As far as that's what I'm saying. As far as friends, if your friend got killed, what changed from back then to now that I ain't going to avenge his death right now, especially if he was doing something stupid. Like what that I guess these little kids.
It depends on like what happened. Like if you just did somebody like mine like foul, they wasn't doing nothing. Like
And they deserve it, yeah.
No, you're not gonna stay here. You're not gonna sit for that. You're not gonna stay here.
And I remember watching one of 50 interviews when he was in Chicago talking to the gang members. And these little kids are dying for someone to earn their stripes off of, whether it be going to jail or killing them. I lie to you not. They are waiting for somebody to, and I'm like, that's crazy, that's sick. But they really are dying to earn stripes. So that leads to say that locking them up ain't doing nothing.
But what I was talking about, like the culture, like
Lock them up, give them a stripe on it.
yeah,
It gives them their stripe.
Right. Locking them up does not do anything, right? But because you still think that.
Yo, for real, we can't.
We will.
No, but the retaliate because there's like this war ain't gonna be over no time soon. So you gotta ride, right? You gotta get back, right? Like if people felt like, look, man, I know they killed your cousin, man, but look, man, damn, you want to be with him? I know, like that if you can get a chance to like disrupt him in a sober mind state, in a controlled mind state. And with like some other factors, right? But they're still gonna something like you'll try to reach out to, and they still gonna go kill him, right? And there's something that you'll reach. It's a process, man. It's like the story about the it's like a little fable. They was found in seashells. I mean, they were throwing starfish back in the ocean one at a time, and every time the tide would come in, they brought starfish back in.
Starfish.
And they said, "Damn, don't you see?" Like every time we come back in, they say, "Yeah, but I saved this one, right? And I saved this one." And so you gotta take that. It's really God's work. Like, and it's crazy. I'm not religious. I'm not Christian, but like spiritual, right? And we are deeply entrenched in God's work now, man.
Okay, so like I said, we were at 785 as of Monday. 7 people killed from Sunday to Monday into a 24-hour period. Something has to be done. You're saying that it's not it's not a quick fix because it's been going on a long time. But at the same time, the rate is 300 more deaths in Chicago this year than last year.
It's absurd.
And we're not even done with this year yet. And if you say, "Oh, well, we're almost at the end," no. In a 24-hour period, 7 more numbers were added to the list.
I would if it was me. I'm telling you, like sometimes you need tyranny, right? Sometimes you need dictator, right? I would impose martial law in Chicago.
Stop and frisk, racial profiling.
I would, but I would do it. If it was me, I would do it as culturally responsible as possible. So, like, I would probably try to like partner with the Nation of Islam or something like that. I don't really trust them, but somebody else to look. Hey, look, it gotta stop. Go talk to them and see what they need to stop. And if they don't stop, it's gonna stay like this. Like the whole city is on lockdown. The Nation of Islam, I'm so done with them, man.
You done with that?
Yeah, I'm so done with them, man.
I kind of like the combination of the two. So you go in there and you go and you identify, because they already know, everybody know who the leaders are in the gang in your neighborhood and stuff.
Right.
You identify them, you take them out, hang them, you leave them up there for a couple of days, them send the message. Somebody else want to come and take his place.
But he said take them out, hang them. You taking it back.
They don't really do that.
Game of Thrones.
I mean, they need to be. Those people you don't need to lock up the little foot soldier who's just running around being stupid and everything, and that he's being manipulated by these other people. Say, yeah, he killed your cousin. I didn't even know I was related to that dude. Yeah, man, you related to him. You related to me. So they, It's like the genealogy in Chicago. You don't know what's going on. The people been living in that same area for years and years and years and years and years, and it's not ancestral like it is in Kentucky and some of the back hills out there. But still, some guy sees a cute cousin, she's second removed. Oh, I like her, and I got 2, 3.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I don't get
How
that.
do we
man.
get to this?
Yo,
because
I just
because
know.
this is coming off of your thing. The relatives are backing up the thing like the Hatfield and McCoys, you know. That,
And that's what I'm saying, is that-
They're trying to come back and
So they're-
serve justice on this other person for killing my cousin. But that cousin was my cousin too, you know. So now you're killing me, who's your cousin too, because it's all mixed up in there. Because a lot of people haven't left Chicago. They've been there for years.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
time for them to go.
so the question
All boom.
the question I ask is, yo, you can't, and I'm not saying you can't because I hate using that, but so a kid has it in his mind that he has to avenge his friend or his family's death. What do you do?
I mean, like,
You know what I mean? Because it has to. You can't just say I'm gonna pray for your buddy, because you know what you mean. Once you turn your back, he's gone. He's gonna get.
The current circumstance, you cannot tell him not to retaliate, right? Like, because like telling him not to retaliate ain't gonna stop the war, ain't stopping the beef. Like, it's still on site, it's still green light. Even though they killed your cousin, that's not the end of it.
And
Like,
then
if
you
they
gotta
see you,
worry
they
about
might
you
let
gotta
it
worry
go.
about you getting caught out
Because
there.
they thinking when they see you, it's gonna be on site for you. So
Yeah.
what? They letting it go on you. You have to neutralize it. You have to come in and damn near martial law, man. I'm serious.
That's crazy.
You have to come in and neutralize all the sectors, because you can't just say, look, there's no way to say, look, man, don't do that, man. I'm telling you, unless you want to get him to move.
The wire.
Unless you want to get him to move,
Wire, yeah.
right? Because like otherwise, you just tell him, like, that's like saying we fighting. You telling him, hey, Truth, don't fight, don't hit him back. And I'm wah. It's going on, man. Like, so, like, you have to remove him, right? And then where you going to send him to?
Send him to the Middle East.
You gonna do that for 100,000 kids? Like there's
something
millions
has
in
to-
Chicago,
yeah,
right?
word.
Where you gonna send 100,000 kids?
We called it Vietnam back in my days.
Put them in concentration camps or something,
We
right?
we called it Vietnam. So they used it to get rid of the higher. See, the draft that was imposed in Vietnam, and the way they used the octanating system. That, you know, if you were drafted, but you only had like a 4th grade education, you know, you would say, well, I'm not going in the service. Wrong.
Yeah, I just think
If you were white with a 4th grade education, you're not going in.
word.
You know, but if you were black with a 4th grade education,
Come on.
you're still not going in. But if you're going in, you're going in as a soldier. And if you got a high school or above education like that, you're almost automatically drafted. If you got some college, you are almost automatically drafted, and you are almost automatically put into the area of an infantryman, so that they could, I'll say, thin the herd or something like that. So they left a whole lot of people who are uneducated back, rather than taking them in the service, educating them. Then, huh?
Instead of putting them out front, they left them back.
They left them in the United States. They couldn't, you know, they took the people who had
they're not used to
education,
smart
put
people.
them out there front to do bullet catching.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's a good. You just gave me a great solution. So all these kids that are catching the bodies out there in Chicago, send them to war. You want a second chance at life? You want a second chance at life?
What happens when
Go
they come
fight
back?
for America.
Dude, listen,
They ain't coming back.
Listen.
What do you mean they ain't coming?
Yo, this is how we have to pay attention to, like when you said, like, you cannot get so disconnected or from what happened that you come up with crazies that you end up killing the victim.
Right.
So Chicago is the result of decades of intentional divestment.
Yeah.
Right? And making sure that they
Oppression,
choke the
yeah.
people out there, right? And when you treat people a certain way over time, they act a certain way. And the solutions are, so these people that are victims, the solutions that are coming out of this space is bomb them.
Yes.
Bomb the victim.
Yes. Listen, there's no cure. If you
By a
give me
man
a
of
cure,
God.
if you give me a cure,
Yours was a sitting
you said send them to war, they ain't coming back. I'm sorry, holier than now.
My whole point is, don't give up on them. Don't
Give them something to war.
You sent them to war.
But that's not giving up on them.
And True said they ain't coming back.
Sending them to jail and having them come back out to the same exact environment doesn't help.
Which one is more likely for? So which one has a higher survival rate? Prison or war?
A higher survival rate,
War.
Prison.
but the thing is,
Millions of people come home from prison.
but
Not so many people come home from war.
they're in this violent state of mind. Go ahead and exercise it on the enemy. don't, you know, and that's the crazy thing is America, it subliminally is about fear and killing.
Of course.
So it's happening in Chicago. It's like
Can we stop talking about the blaming game? Because
It ain't the blaming game.
Talk about
It's
history.
about the
We don't need to talk about
solution.
the blaming game. We know America's at fault. We know the history of how it all started. I'm talking about to fix it, bomb the place, start from scratch. It's the only way we're going to do
But
it.
we can't bomb it. Because there's so much
They
commerce.
bomb Black Wall Street.
But
Call it
commerce.
Black Wall Street too.
All that
Black Wall
commerce that
Street
comes
too.
down.
I can't believe in that though, because you know why?
Chicago.
Go ahead, you talking to the mic.
Anyway,
You got the great, because you got so much commerce coming down. You got these rivers that flow out to every place. You got trains that run through there. You got
and
all
800
kinds-
deaths.
Yeah, that's the part that makes it such a problem. They think they can cattle all the people that are minority heritage into one area and stuff like that, and then leave all the rest of the
city in America.
Yeah, leave
the
all the
most
rest.
segregated city in America.
Yeah, and
Wow.
More than the South.
The most segregated city in America. I'm not sure how they find that metrics, but it's often quoted and stated. I know, like the neighborhoods are like all black,
Yeah.
all Mexican,
Never
all
knew
white.
that.
You know what I mean? Like they're all like they just there's no integration in the neighborhoods.
You bomb them all.
Right.
Listen, like I said, build a doorway, right? And when people try to leave Chicago, say, listen, okay, tell me about your life. Okay, I'm a single parent. Nope, go back.
Is there any-
I come from a broken home. Nope, go back.
Yeah, let's go back.
I'm in college right now. Okay, we'll let you go, but you're being monitored. I'm gonna sound like Donald Trump. After we get the census done, all right, y'all ready to drop that bomb? Drop it. Listen, there's no other way. I'm sorry. They killed 800 deaths. And then plus they shooting innocent people too. A guy who was watering his lawn.
Yeah.
Two 30-year-olds rode by on bikes while a 7-year-old was watering his lawn.
2:30 or what? The day?
2:30-year-old kid. This is in the morning.
2:30 in the morning.
I'll
He
show you
watering
video
the
of this.
lawn.
He's watering the lawn in the morning. 2:30 in the morning. I mean, not 2:30 in the morning. 2:30-year-olds. They were
Oh.
30-year-olds on the bike. Not 2:30 in the morning.
I saw that video.
Okay, yeah, you saw the video. They just turned the bikes around, jumped off, tried to rob him, and when he pushed their hand away, they shot him in his stomach.
Wait, there's a video there?
Yeah, there's a video of that in Chicago, riding by on bicycles, and they're 30-year-old men. I thought they were like teenagers.
Yeah, they were men.
Because I was talking about them being teenagers at first, going in on them. But these are adult men in Chicago, got off their bike, came and tried to rob the 7-year-old man, take his hose out of his hands. He tried to water them, and then they ended up shooting them, and then robbing the man. These people,
That's crazy.
you cannot rehabilitate. You cannot save them. Bomb them.
Yo, what were they trying to do? They were trying to take his money?
Take his money, yeah.
That is a poor people crime. How are
Right.
you not overlooking this? These are people
Right,
like poor.
right.
It's like, I need money.
Yes,
like,
they're damaged 'cause they
I
need
need
nothing.
money. They're going crazy.
Right.
Like, the system
had
is
money, they wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
Lies. Lies.
They
That's
had money.
all they know.
They wasn't just walking around serial killing like, wow, let's ride on old men. They were looking for money.
Right,
I don't know what
right.
the hell's wrong with this old man. That why you wouldn't? Who in this day and time
So
is
now
not?
the old men.
Yo, look, bro, they're starving people. They're crazy,
Uh-huh.
right? Give them what they want. Like, yo, bro, like, oh, is it
Or else,
worth it?
or we're gonna shoot you up.
Or they gonna shoot you.
And if you shoot us, we'll bomb you. So
Or
we
they
don't have to
gonna
worry
shoot
about it anymore. Bomb them.
If
Yo.
you're gonna bomb 1/3 of the, you're gonna bomb 2/3 of the planet. Because if your answer to bombing hungry, desperate people, I mean,
No,
answer to hungry, desperate people,
not hungry, desperate people.
You're bombing
I'm talking
Chicago.
about just Chicago. Just
hungry, desperate people in
Chicago. Let's start off with
You
Chicago.
think Chicago gonna make that problem go away? There'll be another Chicago. Matter of
Right,
fact, we'll make it.
you know what?
Matter of fact,
No, they
all
won't.
Chicago
No, they won't be
already.
like, listen, I'm hungry, but I seen what they did to
There's
Chicago.
already other
We ain't
Chicagos,
finna let that happen. Right, you need to make an example. Bomb it.
Right.
Once you bomb it, I bet you South Central LA will be the nicest place on earth.
No,
Yo,
no,
is it possible for a good solution to come out of this?
Yes.
No, the bombing don't work.
No, bombing isn't a good solution.
Yes,
You know what?
Is it possible to have a good
It didn't work
solution?
in Philadelphia because the mayor of Philadelphia bombed two blocks. he always tried that. He blew it up.
Blew up
It didn't
2
work.
blocks?
They just moved.
No, it's Operation Move.
Yeah,
With the black
Yeah.
family in Philly.
yeah, bombed
Wow.
2 blocks.
Yeah,
Blew it up.
Yo, that's crazy. So there is no. We're trying to say there is no possible
Yeah,
good way
yeah.
of solving this problem in
There's a
Chicago.
possible good way,
I think
but
it's gonna have to
take
be
time.
I think Chicago's gonna have to burn out.
Yeah,
Like
but-
I think I don't see anybody in the
Quicker way
I
with
think
the ball.
it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Yeah,
And I
And
think
Jordan need to talk to him.
And I think that the police,
Mike, right? That's their god. They'll listen to Jordan. They'll listen to Jordan. Jordan come in here and say, put the guns down.
I think they need to get rid of the drugs that just flow around that place and not
Give 'em over.
band-aid the drugs and stuff. I think they need to
make their
go in
money off the
there.
drugs.
You're the drug dealer. No, I'm not. I ain't got no drugs on me. I know you're the drug dealer. You're under arrest. You know, I don't care. I would just personalize it.
I don't
just
think
like
that's
everybody.
locking drug dealers up. Don't stop drugs.
We lock up.
It doesn't stop
It stops
drugs.
the flow coming in.
No, it don't.
But no, not if you don't lock them up. It ain't going to stop it.
Locking them up
They
is
ain't
gonna
locking
make
them up.
that opens the floodgates. You understand? Because the person who was holding down the territory ain't holding no more, and it's open season for everybody to come in
And
and
there's
out.
nothing.
And then
there's
the
no-
lock them up.
there's no shortage of hungry people waiting to get that job.
Well, I'm sorry.
That whole clientele base is open.
You already know we open up
It'll
shop.
take a few minutes to get that thing closed down, but that's how I'd close it down anyway. I'd stop the flow. I would just let the people know, I know you're the man,
Right
and
now,
you're under arrest.
The biggest drug
That's
dealer
it.
in this world is locked up, still peddling drugs. So how is that?
His little minions.
His
They're
what?
not locking them up.
El Chapo has more than a lot of little. He got a lot of little minions.
Lock them all up.
You don't even know who they are.
Obama.
Oh, Bob.
So we're talking solutions that
What's interesting
don't
is-
work.
Bob.
We mentioned them, and the only thing that I ever seen work in my lifetime was the Nation of Islam in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think this video in DC they took over this. I mean, it was like the Carter in New Jack City. It was awful. It's called Paradise. The project was called Paradise. It was awful.
Where at, Chicago?
In DC.
Yeah.
In the
Oh,
80s,
yeah, DC was-
when DC was the murder capital.
Man, Panama. Yeah.
And it was a war going on there between there was dudes that was up from Miami and dudes that was down from New York, and then the DC natives. It was at war. It was crazy out there. It was bad, bro. And then the Nation of Islam went in there with no guns, just karate and suits, fam, and shut the projects down, right? Cleaned the projects up, kicked the drug dealers out.
He said just karate and suits. That's it.
Fam, they was on the news, I swear to God, hitting youngins with clotheslines. What? Like they came through, they told them, yo, no more drugs in here. And so they told the dudes, if you come out here, boom. Dudes like whatever. They came out there, they was out there disarming dudes, taking guns from them, clotheslining them. I'm telling you, man.
Self-defense, that's interesting. I think we need to look that up.
The community has to take over.
Yeah.
They better have something more than clotheslines. They want to do in Chicago. They got guns. It ain't gonna work.
I'm telling you,
They had guns back then. What you mean? I remember
Not
them
like now.
I remember watching them.
there are millions of people in Chicago. There's a lot of killers, a lot of guns, but there's more people. Like at the end of the day, the ants will conquer the elephant.
What you mean?
Ants gotta get
They're in
together.
Chicago. The Nation of Islam, you said earlier, was in Chicago right now. There is a reason why they are not doing that in Chicago.
I mean,
They are doing it. We remember we heard about the interrupters.
Yeah.
There are groups of people like it has some of the. Just I know Troop knows it has some of the most richest black people, and it has some of a lot of organizations in Chicago.
They need men, black men to stand up, man. And chill.
You know what?
You might have to go ahead, Troop.
Yeah, I'd hit the store owners, I'd hit the big corporations and stuff. If you own a store and you're letting filth and stuff just pile up in front of your store so that people feel bad about themselves walking the street, I'd fine you and I'd lock you up too. And I'd lock your kids up and I'd fine them, I'd fine everybody. I'd have
Store
the
owners not fighting against a gang.
How many white man solutions are y'all gonna come up with?
Yo,
These are white man solutions.
That's who I'm locking up.
They've been doing this for 100 years now, man.
No.
It ain't working.
And it's
The only
cheap
thing
right
don't
now.
work. The only thing they did, the store owners would put bars on the windows to make it look more homey-like for the jail scene.
America has never arrested a problem away. You cannot arrest a problem
Can't
away.
arrest your way out of a problem.
Bomb a problem.
You can bomb it, you can arrest
And that's crazy because you
Not really.
bomb it away.
That doesn't even go away either because the people that you don't kill are bad. They're coming back.
That's why I'm hitting them in the money.
Word.
That's why I hit them right in the pocket.
The people that are mad about your bomb
How
are
do you hit
coming.
them in the pocket? They ain't
If
got
you're
nothing.
if you own a store
Yeah.
and you got your
I'm being
trash outside
extorted.
your place,
I'm being
you're
extorted
not
by
clean.
Will, Troop.
Yeah.
So Troop, Will is coming to me every day saying, "Give me $100 or I'm gonna kill you and your family." What am I gonna do at that store owner? I'm gonna get Will arrested.
Yeah.
Will cronies are gonna come and kill me and my family though.
But that ain't the point. That ain't what I'm saying. You own the store. You're allowing filth to just build up in front of your store. Filth and trash that I'm talking
I'm dead.
about.
That's beside the
you're
point.
So you're having a storefront right there with nice bars on the window, trash in front of it, and then you're not taking care of that. You're making the city that you live in and make your money. You might not even live there, but you got your store there making your money. I'd fine you till you can't even afford the store. I'd give it to somebody else. I'd hit you in your pocket. I'd hit the people that own the big businesses downtown. I'd make it so if you're going to run for some city office and stuff, you ain't getting paid unless you produce. And if you're not producing, you're getting fined. I'd make it so hard for anybody who's going to be a poverty pimp in any fashion and everything that they're not going to be able to do that in Chicago.
That's right. 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. New Year's is coming up Saturday night. New Year.
Well, bomb them on New Year.
That's it.
Count down. 10.
Nah, yo,
I know.
They thought
America,
that-
you guys are all mad. 'Cause
Don't say that
said
though,
this,
yo.
But we got programs here now where people can come in. There's no cousin fighting. There's no infighting, and everybody has a chance at a better life. We're looking to bomb LA next.
Yo, see, that's crazy because LA ain't that bad, yo. Like it used to be.
Bob it is.
LA is bad.
When the last time you been to LA? When the last time you been to LA?
You don't have to be in LA.
I was
Look
in
at the
LA
murder rate.
last year.
I just saw a crazy story about an old lady getting yacked on her front porch in Compton, yo.
Look at the stats.
I
All
was
you have to
in
do is look at the
Compton.
stats.
I told you when I was over there, I said Compton had Mexicans there.
LA ain't Chicago, but
Yeah.
it's still in the top 5. It's still in the top 5. Just because it's not in style like it was in the 90s
Right.
to be glorifying
Yeah,
the
but it's a
gang life,
bigger
and it's
state.
still
That's
going
what I was
on.
about to say.
Matter of fact, it's getting worse, as a matter of fact. It is.
Every place is getting worse.
MS-13, yeah, them gangs are starting to really, it's
I
starting
don't
to
know
get
about
really
MS-13.
bad.
MS-13
Yeah.
don't got no clout, man.
Oh, in LA they do.
Yeah, they
Oh
do.
yeah, they do.
13?
Oh yeah, they do.
I would say
Yeah.
they're closer to Mexico.
Mexicans mob on MS-13.
Yeah, I know.
Mexicans
They
mob
more-
on
yeah, yeah.
Nobody respects MS-13. Not all, they got
used to.
numbers.
All
They
right,
got numbers.
30
or
seconds.
whatever. Like,
30 seconds, shout out.
Shout out to me and mine, man.
Oh, shout out to my lovely Brian Laura, Mason and Max, my 2 scientists and all the special ops. Have a happy New Year and everything. You'll be busy on New Year's bombing Chicago.
That's crazy.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Jesus.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Yo, Lord.
Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. Folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe. Come on, Mike.
To make the season bright. I had to sing it. I had to sing it in high
Tiny
school
tots
for, Christmas
with their
dinner.
eyes all aglow. Good night. Good night, boys from the Voiceless.
Shout out to my wife. Have a good one. Deuces.
You can tell who's the most street in the room when he's like, where the hell did you get this song from?
What the lyrics say?
Y'all know this shit.
That's an action.